Dude, Colston Loveland rocks. I love Colston Loveland. I'm going to give you some stats really quick because last year, Colston Loveland missed 3 games. And I want to give you a little insight as to how bad the offense at Michigan was. So Colston Loveland missed 3 games last year as tight end for the Wolverines. He had 29 more catches than any other player, 334 more yards, and 3 more touchdowns than any other person on their entire offense. Missing games as a tight end. He is really, really good. He is aggressive. He's big. He's young. He's athletic. I mean, he is everything you want in a tight end, if I'm being honest. People have been talking about Sam Laporta being the comp, but, there's a reason why Colston Loveland was rated much higher on boards than Sam Laporta, because those things that Laporta's good at, Loveland is at least as good, if not better, in many of those areas. Now, he's going to have to actually prove it at the NFL. But, when I see that Colston Loveland's comp is Sam Laporta, I think Sam Laporta's comp is Colston Loveland, if that makes sense. I think that, Laporta's going to have to work to be as good as him. This could be a game-changing pick for an offense. Getting a guy like this, as you mentioned, matchup nightmare everywhere on the field. He ran out of routes out of the slot almost 50% of the year last year. So he is not only able to do it, he's comfortable doing it. And as you mentioned, those nickelbacks are usually smaller, shiftier guys. I mean, Colston Loveland can box those guys out like you see those dominant centers do in the NBA. He's a dog, man. I give it an A grade. I think he fits this team way better than Tyler Warren. I don't mind that they don't go running back in the first round. I think Ashton Genty will be good, but I have no reason to think Colston Loveland can't have at least that big of an impact on a team as Ashton Genty will, especially if he has the right quarterback, which I think for sure he does. But man, being in Green Bay, these Packer fans, man, they're casuals. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to come out and say it. It's a podunk little town in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. They have nothing to do up there. It's a boring, boring place. And they didn't even know who Colston Loveland was. So I just say they're going to find out soon. They'll find out really soon when Caleb Williams is beating them twice a year, throwing the ball to Colston Loveland. They're going to know who that man is, and they're going to regret laughing at us after his name was announced at number 10 as I held the bear claw up the whole time.
Yeah.
I really do like the pick. I gave it a B+ grade. Here's the thing with Luther is that there are some very clear weaknesses to his game that very well could hinder him at the NFL level. To me, one of the biggest things is that he does try to do a little bit too much. Sometimes there's times where he gets the first down, then tries to make a move by going behind the first down marker. You do that once in the NFL and you are going to lose a lot of playing time. He also does have alligator arms middle of the field. If he has a deep ball, I've seen a lot of times where he won't, he won't even put hands up to attempt to catch a ball so that he can avoid the hit that sometimes isn't even there. So there are some worries, which is why I can't give it an A+. But I mean, ultimately, really huge weapon after the catch. He's going to fit right into the slot alongside Colston Loveland on the other side. And, when you want to have 4 receivers out there for the formations. And to me, when I see Luther Burden, I see a guy who got really bored after being first team all SEC in a bad offense. Quarterback play was not good at Missouri. The offensive play calling was not good at Missouri. There were some games where you could tell that he was not really fully engaged with what was going on. I remember the game against Alabama. He had 3 catches for 3 yards, a stat line I've never seen before personally. But you could kind of tell he was just getting the ball and, tried to make a couple moves, didn't run his routes with the intensity you want him to. So there's a lot of reasons why this could not work, but ultimately to me, you put him in a room with DJ Moore, you get Cole Kmet to be a veteran leader in that room. I think those are all things that help to provide a really good future for Luther Burden. So I'm happy with the pick. I think he was the best player available at that time. And so to me, I gave it a B+. But it really depends on those weaknesses, man. I won't lie. I'm really not a fan of this pick. I wasn't a fan at the time, and I watched the film, and I think I'm less of a fan. I genuinely don't see what they saw in him. Here's the positives. When he gets his hands on you, if he has the leverage, if he has the strength to do it, I mean, he has very strong grip. He has a really strong anchor. You get a smaller defender on him, he will maul that person and take them out of the play. but he moves. He lumbers. I mean, he takes a second to get to the next level. I don't think he's a fluid mover. I think he's somebody who has to, really start going in order to get going. He's very reactive, not proactive. I see a lot of times where you can almost see the light bulb moment of his where he's like, oh, I need to block that guy over there, as opposed to knowing this is where my assignment's going to take me. I'm going to have to get up to this level and find somebody. He goes, oh, now I should start getting over there. So, he is really raw. I don't see the fluidity in his movement or his thought process yet. Those could come with time, but ultimately he's a big dude. It takes him a while to get going. His pad level will never be lower than some of these elite, edges. He does have the flexibility to go inside if needed, but then you have a 6'8" guard staying in front of Caleb Williams, who all the haters told me is actually like 5'7", even though he's not. I don't care for the pick. I gave it a D+ grade. I like having depth. I like having flexible depth. I just don't think that's the guy they should have brought in to do it. I totally agree with Stevie. It's my favorite pick of the draft for the Bears. I gave it an A grade. Listen, the aggressiveness is not just in penalties. He also has been known to over pursue. He's just very aggressive. He's going to have to rein that back a little bit, especially at the next level as he gets to the speed of the NFL. But he has a whole rotation of guys where he can slowly work himself into that level of play. He's really, really quick off the draw. One of the things that really jumps out about his tape is, man, the second the ball is snapped, he is up in the offensive lineman's face. A lot of times you see the quarterback is taking his cadence back, and he's got a center being pushed right back into his lap. So it's because Shemar Turner is ready to rock at the go. He's strong. He is good at stopping the run. He can reach out and grab guys, goes for the ball. He doesn't have a lot of forced fumbles, but man, you'll notice on the tape that he reaches out with a ton of strength and goes for that football in the trenches. So I think he's going to be a really, really solid addition to this team, and the defense is going to be a lot better off with a guy like him out there. Yeah, I don't think I'm as low on it as a lot of people are. First of all, his best trait, if you ask anybody at Maryland, is his leadership. I mean, the team, the coaches, they love the guy. And this is a really aggressive player, really fast. He is going to be a fan favorite. I mean, this is somebody who the fans are going to love. Now, the tape has a lot to be concerned about. He does not always get to the correct hole that he's supposed to be plugging in a run game, which has led to some big runs against Maryland. He doesn't always take the best angles to the ball carrier, but he's able to make up for it because he's so fast. This is the kind of guy who does chase down running backs on a very consistent basis. So, he can accelerate. He's agile. He's fast. He gets swallowed up by really big offensive linemen. This is the kind of guy where you have to have a specific role in mind for him. I could see him being like the third linebacker if you want to run, a base 4-3 defense to keep it in simple terms on running downs, because if they do pass the ball, which so many teams are doing on first down now, he has the ability to cover. He has the ability to make up the ground necessary. But I don't see him as a future, superstar linebacker in the NFL. I gave it a C+. Yeah, my favorite of the three is Frazier. I honestly, the more that I watch him, I think he's a safety in the NFL, and I think he's going to be a really good safety in the NFL. 6'3", so fast. When I watch him, so he didn't play a lot of man coverage in college, a lot of zone coverage, but he could sit on the underneath routes and like a cover 2, like how you'd see Charles Tillman back in the day. He's fine doing that, but he's so good heading back on that cover 3 route when they have to get the deep outside zone as a corner. He was a center fielder back there, so I really see a vision of him being a part of a deeper defensive backfield in the NFL. I like Luke Monungai. I think he'll be a 2-down back in the NFL. He is a very tenacious pass blocker, but he is small. He's a smaller guy, and these 6'3" linebackers in the NFL, man, they're going to have a chance to run this guy over. So I think that he'll be a 2-down back, but I could see him getting 150 carries this year, 10 per game, on first and second downs, keep the chains rolling a little bit. Roshan Johnson's really good on the goal line, but so is Kyle Monungai. So you kind of have 2 options for short yardage conversions this upcoming season. The one pick I do not like is Luke Newman. He did have a pretty solid game against Michigan. I think that was probably the game where he showed up best. He has the shortest arms of any guard in the draft this year. And he also alligator arms a lot, which you hear a lot for receivers when they get the ball up the middle, they pull their arms in. But Kyle Newman gets out of his stance and his hands come all the way up to his chest. So he really allows the defender to make the first move. And if you can mirror and you can, parry that away, then you have an opportunity. But these really good pass rushers at the next level, they're going to be very aggressive. They're going to get into his chest, and I don't like his anchor either. So I think he would take a lot of work. That was my least favorite pick of the draft. I gave that a D-, and just having the exceptional depth now with the ability to play multiple positions, that's really what saved it from an F pick for me. But the other two, I do like those picks. I think Zach Frazier has a chance to be an Eddie Jackson type pick. He can come in very early and make a huge impact and be a playmaker in the secondary. And I do want to give a shout out to one potential undrafted free agent that I kind of like they picked up, which is wide receiver J.P. Richardson out of TCU. I don't know if he's going to make the team, but I think he's going to be a preseason favorite. He was a true slot receiver at TCU, very quick coming out of his cuts, makes space for himself, and has a little bit of getaway speed as well. I think he's going to be that receiver that every year, us Bears fans, we have that one wide receiver in preseason that we won't stop talking about. And I think J.P. Richardson could be that guy if he gets that opportunity this year.